is a presentation of Fox Sports.
We are Fox Sports! We are Fox Sports!
The race for the NHL's postseason is coming down to the wire. The Tampa Bay Lightning are a single point away from clinching home ice in the first round and just 2 points out of a division lead. Tonight, they finish a 9-day road trip in South Florida against the Panthers, grasping for life in the playoff chase. A loss to the Bolts tonight eliminates the Cats. Lightning and Panthers, the series finale, next on Sun Sports. The Lightning's long and winding regular season road schedule reaches its end tonight in the Bolts' home state against the feisty Panthers here at the BB&T Center on Sun Sports. Hi, everybody. Welcome to our coverage, along with the Chief Bobby Taylor. Rick Peckham with you. Dave Andrechuk joins us as well tonight here from Sunrise as the Lightning finish off that regular season road schedule. They're finishing off a 5-game trip as well, looking for their second win on this trip. And they've dealt with a lot of injuries. They've got mixed news as far as that's concerned, Chief. The good news is Tyler Johnson's back. That means the triplets are back in action.
Boy, are they ever. And he's the guy that really stirs the pot for them, and Tyler Johnson. This is a line that has been unbelievable 5-on-5 during the season. They're the top scoring unit 5-on-5 in the league. They picked up 54 goals and 139 points 5-on-5. And you can see what they have done individually throughout this whole year. Well, all three of them over 60 points, but the best thing about it, they're in the top 5 in the plus-minus as well, so they don't let the fence get suffered as long as they're scoring. They're also looking at the other end.
Well, the Panthers desperate to win this game and stay alive in the playoff chase in the Eastern Conference. Their line, not exactly the triplets, Chief, with Jaromir Jagr. It's more like a dad and his 2 sons.
And they're big, too. They're a lot bigger than the triplets, but nonetheless, since Jagr has come over, it has just been unbelievable. Not only has this young guy, Barkov, who's the center, and Huberdeau, who's gone to the left side, really responded well and have become their most productive line, but the whole team has taken part. You see what they've done? They've been together 17 games, as you see the number of goals and points that each of them have put up, and the team and the line themselves, 15 goals, 44 points, and they're also a plus 17, so they're also looking after their defensive end of the puck as well. So this is going to be a very important line for the Panthers tonight.
Well, Jagr, 43 years old. Barkov's 19. Huberdeau, 21. So it's quite a mix there on that successful combination. The Lightning, bad news as far as injuries are concerned. Alex Killorn, we found out, has an undisclosed injury and did not take the warm-up out for this game tonight. So we'll see how long he is going to be out. The matchup in goal, very interesting. A lot for these guys individually to play for. Ben Bishop's got 37 wins. A win here tonight, and he sets a new franchise record. Roberto Luongo against Carolina 2 nights ago got his 400th career victory. Tampa Bay Lightning hockey on Sun Sports is brought to you by Toyota. Let's go places. And by Bank United. Bank United offers a variety of checking, savings, and money market accounts. Visit any Tampa location to open your account today. Nice aerial view of the BB&T Center here at Sunrise. Lightning and Panthers set to go at it. And before they do, let's look at the Eastern Conference playoff race, updated through Pittsburgh's loss in regulation in Columbus earlier today. Lightning 2 points behind the Canadiens, who play the Panthers tomorrow afternoon here. So they're still alive for the Atlantic Division. They need the 1 point to secure home ice in the first round. The Panthers, they can't lose in regulation. If they do, they are done. And so they're up against it. No margin for error for Gerard Gallant's group as the Lightning take the ice with a 2-1 lead in this regular season series. Every game has been tight, a 1-goal decision. Let's see what these teams have in store for us here tonight in just a moment. Tonight's Lightning broadcast at Sun Sports is presented by your Tampa Bay area BMW centers. Welcome back to the BB&T Center in Sunrise. Lightning losing here 4-3 March 1st, and they have won their 2 home games against Florida.
Well, let's take a look at the starting goalers, as Rick said, delivered by Papa John's Pizza. You can see the numbers that they put up this season. Goals against average and save percentage very, very close for these two guys rather. A few more wins with Ben than Roberto. John Cooper behind the bench for the Lightning. Again, he's had to juggle his lineup with guys going down with injuries. You see the numbers that he's put up throughout his career behind that bench. And Gerard Gallant, who has done a tremendous job in his first year behind the Panthers bench, and he's well over 500.
Mike Lego, Kevin Pollock, the referee, Shane Heyer, Pierre Rasico, the linesman, Dave Andrechuk joining us down at ice level. This will be an interesting start for the Lightning with the late word that Killorn will not play.
Yeah, guys, obviously getting Tyler Johnson back was a great bonus, but then you got Killorn out. I still down here, there's a lot of energy. You know, it's almost like a playoff game. These guys and these fans know that this is a big one for them.
Well, there's a lot of Lightning energy in the building as well, and a lot of fans coming by way of bus down here to Sunrise through the Sticks of Fire organizations and other groups of fans who have made the trip down here to root on the Lightning in this one as Alexander Barkov across that line to Jaromir Jagr. Here's the shot by Dmitry Kulikov, knocked down. The puck punched away by Anton Stralman. Brian Boyle in that corner. Also, we want to welcome all the Lightning fans looking in at Hablo Taco in the channel side of the watch party there, enjoying the action with the drink specials and plenty of hard-hitting action as JT Brown gets us started in that category.
Boy, I'd love to see him use his speed like that, do that on a consistent basis. He's got such good speed. He can get in there very, very quickly and disrupt a whole lot.
Cedric Paquette back for the puck. He's hounded in there by Dave Bolland. Puck reaching the point. Eric Goodbranson trying to hold up Vlad Namestnikov as he's checked now by Brandon Peary. And Goodbranson bouncing it in wide of Bishop. Luke Witkowski dropping it back for Mark Barberio. The puck tipped out by Namestnikov. Veteran Willie Mitchell, their captain, working with Goodbranson. Mitchell unable to get to that pass. Valtteri Filppula on the scene, and Filppula controlling it. Witkowski. Now with Paquette. He hits Steven Stamkos with a pass. Stamkos just off the Lightning bench, joined now by Ryan Callahan. It was taken away by Jimmy Hayes. Hayes throwing it back. Jussi Jokinen the shot, deflected, and it's gloved by Bishop.
Well, let's take a look at tonight's keys, brought to you by your Southern Ford dealers. And play with speed. That means skating as well as passing the puck well, and you need a good start. Lightning haven't had a good start on this road trip very much, and now they need one here tonight.
Stamkos on this faceoff. Panthers get control. Jonathan Huberdeau, who has been a tough hombre for the Lightning to handle in the season series, especially working with Jagr, as well as Barkov, who fights off a check from Stamkos. Shot for the point is handled there by Bishop, and he'll hang on that wrist shot by Aaron Ekblad.
One of the things that has really helped those Huberdeau has been Jagr telling him to hang on to the puck more. Use that size and strength of yours to control the puck and make sure and wait for Barkov and wait for Jagr to get the open. And he's really responded. He's picked up a ton of assists over the last while.
Brian Campbell, who hit the 300 game mark as far as a consecutive streak against Carolina the other night in their 6-1 win. He's been quite the Iron Man, and he's not a guy who plays just a little. He's always well over 20 minutes a game, upwards of 25 minutes a game throughout his career. Huberdeau hanging on to that puck as he works against Slater Koekkoek, playing in his third game in the National Hockey League. Huberdeau has it. Played back toward the net, and Brian Boyle made sure that Barkov couldn't get a stick on it. Bishop gets a whistle.
I think this is going to be a matchup that the Lightning will really try to get. They're going to try and get Boyle out there along with Morrow against that Barkov line with Jagr on the wing. They need a big, strong guy to handle Jagr. Not too many teams can handle him. He's so big and strong.
No doubt, guys. I mean, that's going to be that was a typical shift that we've seen from them in a long time. Turning their backs, hanging on to the puck. They're tough to handle.
Lightning played off the glass and out of play, and the faceoff coming back inside the Lightning zone.
Let's take a look who's not in the lineup tonight. And as you see, Lightning without all those players there are actually injured. And Bjugstad is injured as well. Montoya is just about ready to come back. The other two are coach's decisions. Thornton and Kemper
Bolin trying to march to the net, playing it back toward Bishop. He pokes it away. Brandon Pirri, 9 goals in his last 11 games. 22 goals, 2 assists. It's baseball season, and I suppose he's in the running for the Cy Young. But no, he's obviously been a big addition to their offense. Tyler Johnson back in action with the triplets, leaving that puck for Nikita Kucherov. He spins in front. His pass taken away, though, by Pirri. Lightning working hard to get back to the puck. However, it's fired back to Pirri. Throws it in the middle to Bolin. And he'll keep it on the boards around for Pirri. Second-round pick by the Blackhawks in 2009. Dale Talon drafted him when he was the general manager there. Knew of him. And knew he wasn't going to get much of a chance behind Kane, Sharp, Taves and company, and acquired him. And here he is now, off to a great season scoring-wise. Brian Boyle holding it into Brown. He tipped it on goal, and it was steered away by Luongo. Brendan Morrow rifles it out to the point. Barberio with a shot. It's blooded by Scotty Upshall. Thomas Kopecky, the lead for Derek McKenzie. And he sends it off the stick of Witkowski into the crowd.
Much better start for Florida. That's been their kind of Achilles heel throughout the season. Not getting off to a good start. They're minus 17 as far as goal differential. But here you see Pirri, the goal-scoring darling of him right now. Since February 28th, he scored, along with Ovechkin, the most goals in the National Hockey League.
A great one-timer, too, guys. He scored a couple of power play goals against the Lightning in the earlier matchup, and this is a guy that they got to definitely watch on the power play if the Lightning go down in man.
Mark Barberio checked in there by Vincent Trocheck. He was one of the scoring stars in their win over the Hurricanes with 2 goals and an assist. Vlad Nemestikov, a big offensive night in the playoff clinching win in Montreal earlier on the trip. On this line for the Lightning as he works with Paquette and Valtteri Filppula. This line put together with the return of Tyler Johnson, and things got a little complicated with Alex Killorn, who took the skate. Now he's sidelined with an undisclosed injury. Pass off Campbell, bounced in deep. Ekblad pressured by Nemestikov. Trocheck chopping it up the boards. Cuckoo doing a good job of holding his ground. Finally, the Panthers get it out. Filppula re-enters for the Lightning, leaving it for Matt Carle. Good play now to Jonathan Drouin. Firing it across. He had Callahan busting in through the back door. And pass just off the mark. Here comes Jagr. Playing it back. Markov just sends it by Huberdeau's stick out in front. Markov, the 19-year-old, had it worked away by Jonathan Drouin, just turning 20. Here's Jagr starting it in. The pass taken over by Callahan. Puck lobbed ahead for Drouin. Kulikov has it. He's paired with Alex Petrovic. Jagr now in for Bolin. 2-on-1 with Pirri. There's a try that's smothered there by Nikita Nesterov as they had Pirri open, but Bolin's pass was blocked. Here's a try now by Stamkos down the right side. Had it chopped away by Petrovic. Stamkos battling there, preventing Bolin from picking it up. The defenseman Petrovic with a pass that's blocked by Stralman. Stralman working with Nikita Nesterov. Goodbranson hoists it in. Bishop out to play it. Pass ahead for Kucherov waiting, dealing it now to Johnson with speed, hits the line, playing it back through the legs of Palat. And Pirri trying to turn it right around. Palat getting back defensively. And he just about sent in Johnson. Johnson in there for it for Kucherov, just off the toe of his stick at the top of the crease. Lightning holding it in. Barberio's try was knocked away by Mitchell. Goodbranson off the glass and out.
Good pace to this game, guys. I'll tell you what, Lightning have a very quick. Panthers, of course, really quick to the puck. They have to be. Well, we talked about that in the pregame. We talked about it in the open, just how well the triplets do. You can see them doing a great job here. They just missed on that pass you're talking about, Rick, and that one came in out there. How many times, Andy, you see Kucherov not get a really good chip in there when he's all alone?
Yeah, no doubt. I mean, you can see that Johnson's speed in that line, what the difference is that being. They're just throwing it ahead of him. and he's taking off and getting it. So that line is going to be key as you move into the stretch drive in the playoffs.
Ekblad will fire it back for the Panthers. Now for Kopetsky. This fourth line on for Gerard Gallant, the one-time member of the Tampa Bay Lightning. Barberio. Checked there by Upshaw. And a penalty upcoming here for high sticking on Barberio as Upshaw came in to make the hit. Barberio with a stick up. Panthers on the power play when we come back.
Mark Barberio picks up the first penalty of the game for high sticking. Panthers on the power play. Let's take a look at tonight's Cold Hard Fact, brought to you by Frost Brewed Coors Light. You see there, the Lightning, the scoring depth that we talk about all year long. 4 players with 60 or more points, 11 players with 30 or more points, most in the National League, and they got 7 players with 15-plus goals. That's tied for second in the National Hockey League. But right now, they need to be defensive.
Yeah, definitely the depth in the organization is coming through, and that's why this team is where they're at, because of the depth.
Boyle on this faceoff. Panthers come up with it off the scrum. It's Dmitry Kulikov. And they work it around to Huberdeau. They've got Barkov in the slot. Jágr lurking behind the net. Andy, you can check him over there.
Right beside me. He's still a big man.
Jágr. As Huberdeau in front, and Ekblad couldn't get the shot away. Kulikov with a drive. That's blocked by Boyle. He'll clear it out. The Panthers on this Toyota power play chance. 30 seconds gone on it.
Boy, Brian Boyle does so much for this team. It's incredible.
An assertive play by the young defenseman Witkowski. The 24-year-old chopped that puck away and clears it. Ekblad playing it ahead to Barkov. Rink-wide pass. Huberdeau will skate into it. Meets up there with Slater Cuckoo. Here's a steal, and it's taken over by Filppula. Roars up the middle. Joined now by Palat. And here comes Cuckoo coming late. He can't get the shot away as his stick disrupted from behind by Jaromir Jágr.
Boy, it's nice to see that youngster jump in the play, though. That's not a cautious play at all. He's pretty confident, Andy.
Yeah, using his speed. You know, we talked about his skating ability, and he jumped into play. That's good to see.
Talked to him this morning about the adjustment to this level, and he feels that he's been able to play on instinct, hasn't been catching himself thinking too much out there, and that's important. First-year pro, he's learning fast. Brad Boyes dropping it off. Pass out to Campbell up top. Here's Peary with a shot, and Carl right there ready for that one-timer. Brandon Peary gets it back to Campbell. Fakes the shot. Doesn't have a lane. Boyes, side of the goal. Hayes sends it across. And getting to it, Brown. He'll force the play to center, and with his speed, he'll circle around Campbell. Boyes now there to meet him. And Brown realizes he's got to hang on to that puck and take the hit. With the Lightning changing up ice. And the Lightning back to full strength. Stamkos pressuring McKenzie. Pokes it along. Arriving on the scene, Jonathan Drouin, who steps in for Killorn on this line. Callahan. Out to the point. Here's Nesterov firing a save by Luongo. Callahan has it back. Circles with it. He'll take the shot. Luongo punched that away. And Campbell gets it into the hands of Upshaw. Kopetsky at center. Rolls it in toward Bishop. Angles it off the boards. Good job of getting it ahead to his teammates here as Drouin now off the Callahan pass. Witkowski just joining the play in the zone off the bench. Nesterov shooting a save by Luongo as Nesterov has ripped off a couple of big jobs for the point. He has fired the puck pretty well here in the early going. Bishop out to handle it. Back to Barberio. Now Brown with it. Makes that play to Boyle. Couldn't get to it. Jágr on the turnover. He's met there by Morrow. Guys, you mentioned muscle against this line. How important is the experience they bring?
Yeah, no doubt. Jágr is a perfect example of, not coming back. Randy Morrow does a good job of coming back. When he turns up, he's right there, and play is over.
Barkov. Big centerman. Now Jágr, the shot, a save by Bishop. That trio looking for a chance there. Looking for another here. Jágr tied up by Cuckoo. Slater's found himself out against Jaromir Jagr a couple of times here early.
Done a good job. I mean, he gets his pretty good body position on those forwards.
Well, John Cooper praised him for both those things you've talked about. The body position, his poise, and how he's reacted instinctively and jumped into the play and known when to do it. And here we are in game number 3. Paquette for the Passers. A shot. Luago, a save there on Nesterov. His third shot here in the last couple of minutes. Nemestikov tried to guide that on goal. Kulikov blocked it. Filppula checked. Bolden in for the puck. Getting it free to Huberdeau. Nesterov hounded by Boyes. And Boyes forced him to almost give up the puck. Bishop gave up his stick. It's behind the net.
The defense has got to go get it. Oh, Nesterov is.
Here he starts it in, and before Bishop can pick up that stick, the shot was taken. However, it was tipped wide, and Campbell from the point. Quick pass in front by Trocheck is played aside. Paquette has it. Shots 4-3, favoring the Lightning. Here's a try in front block. A rebound, and Bishop got a pad on that one as Ekblad let it go. Trocheck back of the point. They cycle it with Jokinen, and Nesterov poked it away. Campbell now in for Jussi Jokinen, member of the Lightning for a couple of years. Hayes missed with a backhand try. Trocheck sliding it in behind the rangy Jimmy Hayes, and that pass in front was stolen by Tyler Johnson.
Positioning. That's such an important part of defense.
Palat takes the pass off the boards. Got to find Kucherov. Hayes has it back. Kucherov coming back through the middle. Tipped that pass away. Johnson steers the play into Florida ice. Goodbranson. He'll lift it out for Kopecky. Lightning have it back. Pretty good territorial battle here.
Sid Ever. I mean, both teams, 4 shots apiece, but both teams are very, very quick to get back on defense and defend that trailer and even the player that just stay high in the zone.
Drouin taking on Willie Mitchell. Pass comes around toward the point, cut off by Carl. And now Upshaw chased back, and a good stick check by Callahan. Drouin trying to hold off Upshaw. Goodbranson. Now with Kopecky knocked down, Cuckoo wouldn't let him make a play. All he could do was clear it out. Panthers in a change now as Callahan puts that puck right in the corner. And a big hit by Callahan. Boyes tips the puck to center. Carl coming over for it. Peary got it away. He cuts in. He's got Bolden moving toward the net, and his stick was lifted there by Stamkos. Bolden out to the point. Petrovic fires in front. Peary couldn't handle it. Around the net he goes. He's forced wide by Carl. Petrovic now fumbles the puck. Stamkos takes it away. He's not going to have room to cut to the net, though. The Panthers recover. Brandon Peary. He hasn't missed many opportunities like the one he had a moment ago. They try to hand that puck off in traffic. Brown takes it. Overleads Boyle. He's right on Petrovic. Kulikov off Jagr's stick. Juggled in the air by J.T. Brown, and he'll shoot it right back in. Huberdeau. Now with Nesterov battling at the point. Panthers do come up with it at center. And it's Jagr coming in tied with Ron Francis for 4th all-time in scoring in this game. Here's a shot by Ekblad. That's blocked by Boyle. Ekblad pries it loose. No whistle. We continue. Ekblad again. And that shot is stopped in front. Picked up side of the goal by Barkov. And Jagr missed the net. Campbell has it. Ekblad. Ryan Boyle has been big with a couple of huge blocks in this game. He's staying with Ekblad. Nemestikov works against Jagr. Trying to find Brown along the boards, but Barkov was hanging out right there. Campbell shooting, and it's knocked down in front as Huberdeau was screening Bishop. He was paired off with Nesterov.
Boy, he was right in the crease with him.
Great continuous action here in this first period.
A lot of zone time for Panthers. Boy, they really contained a lot of the Lightning in that zone that first period.
lot of cross-ice crease, cross-crease plays. They're trying to put it into Bishop's feet or finding there's guys going to the net. They've done that very well, that Yager line especially.
Barberio back for that puck. Getting it quickly to Filppula. His lead pass was tipped. Stamkos trying to catch up to it. He does. He shoots it. Luongo got a piece of that. Barberio back inside the Lightning line. His pass hits Stamkos. Witkowski has had some big moments on this trip.
He's played very, very well. Much more relaxed this time up here, playing with a lot more confidence.
He's helped Slater Kuku in that regard, too. As Slater said the other day that Witkowski coming back from that first call-up really talked to him a lot about what to expect in the NHL, and he says, that's helped me in the first couple of games. Here's Johnson taking on Mitchell. Johnson slotting it to Kucherov. Palat was alone in front. They looked for him. And the Panthers spoiled that play, and Trocheck trying to get it to Jokinen. Boy, every puck contested.
Boy, is it ever.
Bishop ahead to Johnson. Throws it on goal. Luongo will cover for a save. We finally get a whistle with 2:36 to go. Endless action here in Sunrise. Perry just missed a great chance there.
We're still scoreless. You see the time remaining first period, but keep your eye on Ben Bishop. There's a series of plays, Lightning in their zone. A quick shot right there. That's where it looks like. You see Ben over the top of your screen there. It looked like he was really kind of favoring that left pad, or left leg rather, and the Lightning eventually got it out, but well, hopefully it's just a twinge that he can still do it.
Luongo has to stop Stamkos as Kulikov took a puck in the face. He was not prepared to defend against Stamkos, and Steven had an open opportunity there, and finally the whistle blows as Kulikov coming off to the Panther bench. Now, that series of saves with Bishop happened around the 7.5-minute mark.
Right.
Lightning get it. Shot by Anton Stralman. Missed the net. Nesterov. Now taken over by Barkov. Ahead for Yager. Barkov will play it in. Centers. And it comes all the way to Mitchell. He'll wind. He'll fire. Bishop a stop there with traffic. Huberdeau is looking to tip it home. Drouin chipping it in. And Mitchell holding up Drouin. No call as Goodbranson double team now. Jonathan wins the puck. Out to Stralman. Quick shot. And it was blocked by Mitchell. He's their shot blocking leader. It should be no surprise to anyone. Kuku absorbs a hit from Mitchell. The Hard Rock veteran defenseman. Good play by Stralman at the other end. Lightning get control. Out comes Stralman to center. Held up at the line. Peary now having problems with Palat. Tried to center for Kucherov. Peary stayed with it. Bolin helps him out. Peary at center. And Bishop watches that one sail wide. Johnson scoops it up. Kuku takes a look over his shoulder. Boyes is coming. Gets it to Kucherov. Stumbled along the boards with Campbell. Here's Bolin firing. And it's gloved by Bishop. Peary reaching for the tip, didn't get it. Then Bishop holding play, 1:08 to go in a scoreless first period.
We're scoreless here in the first period. You see the time remaining, and Jaromir Jagr reached a milestone, as you see there, tying Ronnie Francis with a goal against Carolina with 1,798 points, 4th overall all-time in the National Hockey League. And Gordie Howe, who's just above him, he played in the league when he was 53 at one time. Yager's 43, and he said he'd like to play till he's 50.
Lightning get control of the puck. Bumped into Mark Howe, Gordie's son, and a longtime Detroit Red Wing pro scout. Great player in his own right before the game. He said Gordie is doing terrific. Said he was able to get home and take Gordie fishing, which he's been battling strokes and Alzheimer's and a lot of issues, and Gordie is doing quite well right now, and we certainly have been thinking of him as he turned 87 earlier this week.
Yeah, in fact, didn't they have a bobblehead day for him in Detroit when we were there?
They did indeed. Icing the call here against the Lightning. Look ahead to our first intermission, presented by Gulf Coast Honda dealers. And Dave Andreychuk will visit with Matt Carl outside the Lightning room. We'll take a look at the playoff picture in the Eastern Conference and highlights and stats. A lot of things need to be decided in the East. A lot of possibilities and magic numbers, tragic numbers floating around, and Chiefs got it all sorted out.
Yeah, well, I've been paying attention to hockey by the numbers.
With the puck, it's Strava to play it off the glass through center. Aaron Ekblad back. Getting it now to Brian Campbell. Jágr picks it up. 16 seconds left in the period. Nobody in any hurry right now, the way this has been contested through the first 20, Chief.
No, boy, I'll tell you what. Both teams really came out flying. We saw some tremendous hockey. Probably the best hockey of the trip since Montreal.
Well, Ben Bishop gets through that first period. He makes 7 saves, and his counterpart Luongo 6 saves at the other end. A great matchup in goal, and we've had some good scoring opportunities, some physical play as well, but no scoring through 20 minutes of play here in Sunrise at the BB&T Center. Tonight's Lightning broadcast on Sun Sports is presented by your Tampa Bay area BMW centers. Welcome back to BB&T Center. Panthers going for their 20th home ice win. They need it. They're at 87 points. The Lightning at 102 points. Ben Bishop is in net to start this second period. That's good news there, Chief.
Boy, is it ever. You know, Ben has just been on a roll of late. He's won so many games, and he's in a groove right now. He's at the top of his game, not only in finding the puck, but controlling rebounds as well.
Let's have a look at our chase review from the first period. You see the shots end up as they totaled them up. 7 apiece, and even on the scoring chances, some pretty good numbers as far as the Lightning on some hustle stats. As 8-4 in face-offs, 7-4 in block shots. They were even in hits. And one thing John Cooper talks about a lot, Dave Andreychuk, is the compete level. That's the first thing they look at when they judge their game, and it seemed to be pretty strong there.
They no doubt they were strong. I think that the one thing that what's happening is because of the intensity of the Florida Panthers, it's really raised the game of the Tampa Bay Lightning, and that's a good thing to happen because they, as Chief said, they stumbled at some of their first periods. So good first period. I look to them to build off of that right now.
Lightning open the second period with a Boyle line as Brown on right wing, Morrow on the left, and cutting in now it's Thomas Kopecky in alone on Bishop, who makes the save with his left foot. Left leg pad almost off the toe, right at the goalpost. Bouncing puck controlled now by Morrow. Gonna lose Petrovic, who dumps him. Boyle takes over. On the cycle around to Brown. Brown stepping in front. Backhand tries just wide and by the stick of Morrow at the corner of the crease. Upshaw. Overrun there by Boyle. He gets free, and he'll chip it out.
Good play by J.T. Brown, taking the puck from the back of the net. You know, those are all good things that fourth line has done all year long.
Boyle meeting up with Mitchell along the boards. Slater Cuckoo playing it now for Morrow, and he's checked from behind by Goodbranson. A 216-pound defenseman. They continue to battle for that puck. Huberdeau got it loose, knocked free by Carl, and cleared out. Lightning want to change. Mitchell, two-time Stanley Cup winner in Los Angeles, signing as a free agent, starting that play out. They work the puck back to Stamkos on the backhand. He's knocked down here. Still got the shot away, sent wide. Goodbranson hitting him from behind, knocked his helmet off. Steven reaching back. I think that one smarted a little bit. Jágr. Now here's a shot for the slot, taken by Mitchell, and Bishop with a blocker save. Stamkos continuing without the helmet. Down he goes, and Goodbranson has it.
Lost an edge. I think he lost it on that original contact.
Callahan in front. The shot by Filppula, and Mitchell tipped it out of play.
Boy, I'll tell you what, we were kind of concerned about Ben Bishop's left leg, but he really was able to extend it here on this play right off the bat. Nice move on the part of Kopecky, and Ben just got his left toe on it, but look at how far he had to stretch out with that leg, so it appears that it's going to be fine.
Well, After consulting with Tom Mulligan, as we showed you in the highlights between periods, able to continue, and certainly he was tested on that stop. Tyler Johnson on the ice. Brandon Peary fires that pass to Brad Boyce, steps in, tried to get the puck organized for a shot attempt, but Luke Witkowski took care of that. Taken away, though, Boyce with a pass in front to Peary's hooked by Johnson. Lightning penalty upcoming. Peary moving it to Boyce. Delayed penalty against Tampa Bay. Luongo, when he makes it to the bench, it's time to turn around as the Lightning control the puck. And Tyler Johnson will be issued a penalty at 2:16.
Well, he's got a right to complain. All he did was hold a stick there so he couldn't get down to the puck. You got to check
Number
it out.
9, Tampa Bay, 2 minutes hockey.
Watch how it comes in here. The play will come out here. Johnson, he's got a stick on the stick, not on the hands. But second power play for the Panthers.
So you had a power play opportunity. Lightning very sharp in killing off the first one. And that puck gets away from Boyce, and they'll have to start from center. Brian Boyle, a central figure in some good penalty killing the last few nights in this road trip. Lightning 5 of 5 in Ottawa on Thursday. And a good start here. Puck played in, and here's Cuckoo on the shorthander unit, playing it ahead to Boyle. Joined by Paquette. Boyle maneuvers ahead. He'll throw it on goal, and Luongo covers with Paquette approaching.
It's his birthday today, Roberto Luongo. And I guess he had a little bit of a pre-birthday when he picked up his 400th win. Only the 11th goaltender in the history of this league has won 400 games in the regular season, that is.
Well, he turns 36 today, and it's also another birthday. The mother of our producer, Rob Aller. Mrs. Aller celebrating a birthday today, looking on in the Tampa area, and glad she's able to see the telecast once again and join us. Her son extra busy today.
Yes, he is.
Here's Barberio with a pass ahead to Andre Palat. He'll start it in with Barberio. The pass to him, and he eventually ends up with it, trying to reach around the 6'6" Jimmy Hayes. Peary. Palat's line on against Peary and company quite a bit. Palat likes the matchup, says stepping up Strawman. He'll chip it ahead, and Palat there to gather it in. There's the Lightning with Johnson in the box, and Peary stuck out a leg on Palat in stopping him in his drive toward the net. Jokinen. Now with Boyce shooting a save by Bishop, he stopped the rebound with Jágr there. And it's cleared out by Palat. .35 seconds remaining on this penalty to Johnson. And it's Jágr stick handling through. Huberdeau back to Jágr. Shoots, and Bishop got a piece of that. Witkowski dropped in front of the shot. Kulikov from the corner. He'll turn back and look for Ekblad. Huberdeau handling it inside 10 seconds on the penalty. That shot is blocked by Paquette. Trying to send Boyle on the break. Ekblad has an angle on him. The pass to Paquette. Shoots off the crossbar. And it deflects into the netting on a play.
Oh, wow. What a play. He blocks the shot, sends Boyle up there, and then moves as quickly as he can to get a good scoring chance, Andy.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, nobody talks about Cedric Paquette's speed very much, but he definitely took off from the Florida Panthers back checkers and got a great shot away. Roberto Luongo kind of fooled a little bit. He thought he was going to the glove side. He went over to the blocker side, off the crossbar and out.
Cedric, 2 shorthanded goals this year. Stamkos' try is blockered away by Luongo. Stamkos again, swinging in front. McKenzie trying to maintain position on him. The Lightning are forced back to center as they finish off the Johnson penalty. 2 of 2 in the kill. Keep this game scoreless now with 15:20 to go in the second period. Strome on the center. In for Stamkos. Across for Callahan. Beating it back in front. Stamkos accounted for there by Mitchell. Callahan will backhand it off the glass. Support came in behind Stamkos. Goodbranson got to it. Stamkos reaching for a puck. Callahan has it. And he's tripped up by Kopecky. That'll be called. Delayed call to the Panthers. Lightning trying to get Bishop off. And just as he reaches the bench, it's time to turn around. A penalty to the Panthers, the first one against them this season. Or I should say this game. They've cut their penalties down this season.
2 minutes tripping.
5:12, the time of the call against Kopecky.
Boy, good puck retrieval for the Lightning on this sequence here. And Callahan and Stamkos, along with the defense, keeping that puck inside the zone and not force them to take that penalty.
Much more disciplined team under Gerard Gallant this season. Here's Nesterov, beating it out of Johnson. Nesterov with a drive, and it skipped off Petrovic. Kept in the zone. Good play by Nesterov for Callahan. Lightning have scored a power play goal in each of 3 games on this trip. The rebound in front off the sharp Karam for the boards. Callahan had it tapped away. He's got it now in the corner. Nemestikov got that puck away to Kucherov. He's met there by Boland. Nemestikov trying to make a little play to Callahan. Here's an example of what you guys were talking about. Get more pucks at Luongo. He tried to make a play out of the corner, and he think he had room to walk in front.
Yeah, I'll tell you, Nesterov, a couple of good shots from the point. Not hard, heavy shots, but just a quick wrister that gets through. Those are dangerous.
Nesterov pressured here by McKenzie. Under fire. Got it loose. Here's Stamkos. Shoots. He scores! Steven Stamkos. He got all of that one. Rips home his 41st, a power play goal. He ends a 7-game goalless drought and continues what has been a 7-game goal-scoring streak in this building. The first goal of this game.
I'll tell you what, it's vintage. Get him there, give him that chance, get the pass right there. He just one-times it. And if you're not going to check him, he's going to just destroy you from that spot. Nobody was around him. He had all kinds of time to get that shot away, and he got every bit of it. Luongo had no chance whatsoever.
Yeah, a nice play by Tyler Johnson, too, on that pass. It's perfect, puts it right in his wheelhouse. But he's kind of a threat as he comes to the net, and then passes it over to Stamkos, and he buries it.
We've seen teams adjust to his positioning on the one-timer. From around that left circle, he was a little deeper there. Here's Boyle with a try, and it's stopped at the post by Luongo.
You know, I don't mind them even being over there because they know they want to adjust to him, but that takes away a player. That puts a 4 and 3 on the other side.
We see Ovechkin do that a lot, and certainly Stamkos could fire the puck right with a guy like Alex Ovechkin. We've seen that time and again. They are the preeminent goal scorers of this era. Here's a shot by Hayes, knocked down in front. And Morrow helping out the young defenseman Kuku. Now Hayes gets it on goal, and Bishop makes the stop and covers the puck. Steven Stamkos on the power play, scoring at 6:10, and the Lightning have the 1-0 lead.
You're looking at the man that gave the Lightning that 1-0 lead, Steven Stamkos. Let's take a look at tonight's GMC big matchup. And it's the buildings in which Steven Stamkos has scored the most goals. Of course, it's the opposing arenas. And he's just upped that total. It was a 10 coming in, but the BB&T Center is now been home to 11 goals from Steven Stamkos, the most of any building in the league.
Jagr paired up there with Carl, who ends up poking that puck free. Nemestikov over for it. Petrovic pinching. Jagr involved, now at 230 pounds. Barkov closing in. Wrist shot. Bishop right there to handle it.
Tampa Bay Lightning Hockey on Sun Sports is brought to you by Hat-Tricks. Proudly serving Lightning fans for the last 18 years. It's only 3 blocks from the arena. It's on Franklin Street, and why not start your game off by going to Hat-Tricks, and you can end your game as well by going there. Make sure you try those famous shake and bake wings, though, so come join the party. Everybody calls Hat-Tricks.
Petrovic moving that puck to Huberdeau. Line trying to create something for the Panthers. However, they give up the puck to Filppula and company. Johnson and Nesterov pick up the assists on Stamkos' 41st at 6:10. Steven now at 12 power play goals on the season. Filppula checked by Huberdeau. Stralman Makes the play now to Nemestikov. Quickly now to Filppula. Closing into the backhand. Gets it under control. He shoots. A save by Luongo. Got his arm on that one. Paquette right on top of Petrovic in that corner.
There's another case of having it dead on the net and then going to the side before the shot was taken.
Jagr gets the line. Throwing it to an area for Barkov. Nesterov defending. Helped out by Stamkos. Jagr has it. Gudbranson with a shot. Wild and wide. Picked up, though, by Peary. Back to Gudbranson. Jagr controlling it. Peary on with him. Jagr is open. He's going to walk in right for the slot. Look for a corner, and Bishop at 6'7". Didn't give him much room to look at. Barkov couldn't hold the pass, but Brandon Peary getting to it.
Boy, the Lightning group out there now is really dead tired.
Panthers are starting to change as Bolin coming off the bench now gets the puck. From the point, Gudbranson missed the net once again.
This is one of the reasons why they're so good in the second period.
Bishop made the stop, and he deflects that puck out of play. The Lightning will get a change.
Boy, big saves. Right now the Panthers have fired 16 shots on Ben in this period.
Yeah, guys, you know, a little bit of a turnover in the neutral zone, that's where it all starts. But, you know, you got to just defensively, when you're tired like that, you just stay in the right position. As soon as you start running around, that's what happens. And then you saw there where the parting of the seas opened up for Jaromir Jagr. He went right in. Almost he had too much time and ended up missing the net.
Rasico will drop the puck between Bolin and Johnson. Panthers get it. The shot this time from Gudbranson's on goal. Brandon Peary wheeling with it. He was out for part of the shift with the Jagr line, and now his regular line mate's on. Mitchell shanks the shot. Peary gets it, shoots, and it's off a leg in front. Barberio takes on Boyes. Here's the pass by Palat. He took a hit to make that pass. We've seen that on a couple of occasions tonight. And Johnson's in on Mitchell. Boyes now for Bolin. Scored the cup-winning goal for the Blackhawks in 2013 to end Game 6. At least in the closing moments of that game as they hung on to beat the Bruins. Pass ahead for Ekblad. Carl playing it ahead, nearly connected with Palat. Ekblad coming back. He's got 11 goals. The team record for most goals in a single season held by Jason Garrison of the Lightning 2 years ago at 16. Kopetsky continues on. Boyle got there to detour him away from the net. Ekblad at center has to back it out.
Boy, I'll tell you what, I've been watching the Panther forwards. When they're going across the crease, they're going about 3 feet inside that blue area.
They wouldn't have picked that up from their head coach, would they? Icing the call with Ekblad maintaining the lead ahead of Brown. Score a Coke Zero pin package Thursday at 7:30 when the Lightning battle the New Jersey Devils. Packages start as low as $20. Buy now at TampaBayLightning.com/tickets. Haven't seen the Devils since before Christmas.
Yeah, one of the things that they were so good on the face-off circle in that first period. They've got to, try to get back to that right now.
Yeah, especially, in the defensive zone where you want to try to get a change if you've been out there a while.
Morrow from center, chipping it in. Kulikov moving it back around for Hayes as he and Petrovic started ahead. Nesterov coming across for it. Checked by Hayes. Nesterov knocked down. Continues to battle for that puck. Filppula moving along with Witkowski to Morrow, and Hayes got over there. Panthers battle to keep it on the line. They say it came out. And we got the whistle on the offside against the Panthers. 9:02 to go in the second period. Steven Stamkos has the Lightning in front. Lightning have the lead. Here's tonight's hockey history moment brought to you by Geico. On this day in 2002, Lightning captain Dave Andreychuk scored twice to become the 7th player in NHL history to score 20-plus goals 17 times in his career. Nick Hobby-Bullen picked up his 150th career win, and the Bolts beat the Penguins 4-2. You remember that one?
Play with good players, guys. That's all about it. Playing with good players over the years. And very fortunate. Consistency is what I was striving for, no doubt.
Ho-hum, another 20-goal season.
Well, you certainly got that, Andy, and believe me, yeah, you got good players, but they're not shooting the puck like you were.
Stamkos fires! He scores! Right on cue! Rifles it home to make it 2-0.
Yeah, what a shot that was. Right under the bar. You know, it wasn't in there very long, but the light went on right away. And some of the players didn't think it went in, but what a great shot.
That's the thing that amazes me, and you being a pure goal scorer yourself, Andy, how little room he needs for him to put that puck away. There is hardly any room, and he finds it more often than not.
Yeah, the word of Luongo's, 6'5". He goes down on his knees. His shoulders are almost at the top of the crossbar. And he still finds a way to get it over his shoulder into the top corner.
I think the linesman Pierre Rasico wanted to get a second look at that shot as he was looking at the overhead video board on the replay. Here's Huberdeau at the other end looking for Jagr. The key point right here, guys. We're up 2-0, and Gallant coming back with this line. It's so dangerous down low. Petrovic shooting, and it's deflected by Kucherov and went wide. Kulikov has it. Petrovic setting up for the shot. Wristed. Floated off the end glass. Gallant free to get to it. He'll hoist it out off the stick of Barkov. Callahan gets the only assist on the Stamkos goal, number 42 for Steven. As Kucherov trying to center the puck here for Palat. Finds a man in front. It's tipped wide by Filppula. Filppula out of the corner. Lightning looking to create more offense in that Panther zone. Later, Kuku with a try, kept away from the net by Luongo. Filppula throws it off the referee. Came to Luongo and he covers it up.
Boy, I'll tell you, this is...
We saw Kulikov take a puck in the face earlier in the game, and I think Kevin Pollock got nailed on this one.
I got him, I think, right under the ear. That stings, yes, it does sting.
He tried to get it around and to get up high so that it could be stopped by the goalie, and that's what it hit him.
Filppula sliding it to Carl. It came out, and Pierre Rasico on that call for the offside. And Carl playing better than 23 minutes in the overtime game in Ottawa. They're testing him, and I think he's about 8-10 games back from surgery. He's back to full strength.
Yeah, I would say he's back to full strength. He's played a lot. Him and Stralman, have really done a great job with all these four young guys.
The Subway Student Rush ticket scores you the best available seat for just $20 with a valid student ID. Thursday, the Lightning hosting the Devils. More info at TampaBayLightning.com.
A lot of fans made the trip down from Tampa for this game. A lot of them were at the hotel, Rick, when we were walking out. It was almost like a walk of shame. All the fans lined up on the walkway to the bus.
Yeah, as you guys know, a lot of road games, we've got some fans. They're starting to get the following. It's been fun to see.
Those Sticks of Fire folks, they like the chant, and it kind of gave you the feeling you were a college football player on your way to the Outback Bowl or something, because it was a real spirit as the team got on the bus today. Ekblad double-teamed. Brown's pass taken over. And Boyes gets to center. Peary gets the line. Now is Witkowski over for it. Peary stays on him. Witkowski dispenses with him. But Boyes worked hard to come up with that puck. He's been a recent healthy scratch and doesn't want to have that happen again. Long shot by Trocheck was handled by Bishop. Boyes tapping it in front. Trocheck couldn't get it teed up. He got checked from behind by Morrow. Morrow takes that puck away from Brad Boyes. Campbell from the point, wristing it. Glove by Bishop. He'll hold play.
Wow. They've, that's the thing, too, that I've found Ben has done so well this year, is that when there's been a lot of sustained pressure, sustained time from the other team in his zone, he'll grab a hold of that as quickly as possible.
Yeah, no, and that's experience, Chief. You know, as you know when you got to freeze the puck, when you got to move it. I thought, the defense did a good job on that play of clearing the front of the net, and Ben sees the wrister all the way from the point. He grabs it, gets a whistle.
Callahan held up along the boards. He's able to get that puck free and dump it in behind the net. Good Branson there for it. Can't get it under control. Callahan saw an opportunity to land a hit, and he doesn't turn away from those. Stamkos has got a Panther Trocheck draped on him like a jacket. Drouin off the boards. Back to Stamkos. Drouin with it. He'll shoot. And it's tipped by Callahan behind the net. Puck loose to the side. Panthers desperate to get it out. Carl holds his ground against Hayes. Hayes chased back. They'll try the other side to Jussi Jokinen. Trocheck deflecting it. Carl just trying to get it away from Hayes. He's got a pretty good reach at 6'6". Trocheck will send it back in. Shots are 20-14 favoring the Panthers to this point of the game. Play offside. But Steven Stamkos, the difference maker on this night and many others. He's got both goals.
Steven Stamkos 2, Florida Panthers 0. 5:07 remains second period. You take a look at the comparisons at the same age of these two players, Jágr and Stamkos, and how they've scored goals. Take a look at Stammer's a little bit ahead of Jágr. And that's something that, is kind of interesting when you see them going against the greats.
Here's a try by Johnson, trying to send in Palat. It just deflected off his stick and over the net. And Palat gets to that puck, centered for Johnson. That was batted away. Cuckoo holding it in. Palat, Kucherov shoots, and he fires it wide as his shot deflected in the slot. Wasn't able to put it right where he wanted it. Palat, good shift here by the triplets. They're wheeling and dealing. Strawman wants a part of the fun as well. Palat throws it across. Kucherov with it. Now to Johnson shooting. Luongo the save, and he turns to cover the puck.
Boy, I'll tell you what.
Yeah, that was just an incredible shift. And, the difference with this line is they are always moving. They're never a guy standing still. And great play, they just missed one to Kucherov, and now Kucherov ends up giving it to Johnson here, as you see. But just down here at ice level, guys, just them just continuing to move. It seems like they know where each other is at all times.
Upshaw had it taken away by Barberio. Campbell getting it back to Kopetsky. Lightning defending that blue line. Nemestikov involved, along with Witkowski and Filppula. Saw that puck before his opposite number, Brian Campbell did. Campbell back for it, turns away from Cedric Paquette. Well, the Panthers really butter their bread with their forecheck. The Lightning forecheck's been pretty good.
Boy, it has the last 5 or 6 minutes. It was all Florida with that short change. They were able to get fresh bodies out when they had a little bit more time in there.
Nemestikov guides the play in, goes to the net. Filppula finding the trailer. It's Paquette. Campbell has it back. Long pass ahead for Upshaw. Steps into that zone. He'll fire, and it's turned away by Bishop. Campbell staying on. Follows that play in deep. Derek McKenzie, veteran pickup from Columbus. Lost the puck, and Stamkos tried to backhand it out. Didn't get good wood on it. Now he's going to wheel it around McKenzie, and Paquette takes it. Ahead for Stamkos, and it's picked off by Bolden, who just stepped off the bench. Peary to Bolden. He's open. Cuts in. Backhander. Stopped by Bishop, and he smothers the puck.
Well, I think Peary on that place, he was either going to shoot, then he thought maybe I better pass it, then I should shoot. By the time he decided, Ben was all over. You see that interception of the pass. He did just come on the line, as Rick said to watch. Is he going to pass it over there? No.
He was trying to get it back to Peary. I guess he went to the net. He was thinking of getting it to Peary, but again, Ben, as we've seen all year long, didn't flinch at all, just stayed right in with the shooter.
And Branson had it taken away by Morrow, holds him up, and Peary coming back for the puck.
I don't understand. They'll call that little ticky-tack touch to the gloves every time, but the interference anymore is really not there.
Brown on hand to grab that loose puck. He'll play it out. Morrow keeps an eye on Mitchell. Good Branson. Boys tipping it right to Bolden. He cuts in. Peary with him. Bolden fires in front. Peary was dumped as Brown timed that shove very well. It comes out in front and Boys fires it wide. Peary gonna dig it free side of the goal. Boys checked by Cuckoo. Peary protecting the puck. Encounters Brown on one side, Morrow on the other. Morrow ends up with it. Boyle to center. Lightning want to change. Under 2 minutes to go in the second period. Long angled pass ahead for Trocheck. And Witkowski with it, leaving it for Palat. Andre Palat, 7 points in his 8 games since coming back from missing time with an injury. Jokinen and the Panthers come up with it. Hayes handing it to Jokinen. Now to Trocheck, it's behind him, and Palat has it. Dangerous spot to turn over the puck with the triplets on the ice. Dmitry Kulikov ahead for Jokinen. Here's Hayes stepping in, trying to turn the corner on Barberio. The puck wouldn't cooperate. Back to Hayes' side of the goal. Hayes bumped in there by Johnson. Lightning moving out. Palat trying to get to the puck. However, Petrovic kept it in, but he gave it up to the Lightning. A break there, and now they rule he could have played the puck. Tampa Bay with a quick change, under a minute to go. Puck chopped away by Barberio. He holds up Huberdeau. Petrovic throwing it right into a line change. Barkov coming on for Trocheck, who was already in the bench area, so that's legal. Jágr playing it back, controlled now by Paquette. He motors straight ahead. Filppula joins him. Jágr working over Filppula. Paquette with a puck. Strawman. He'll just send it back down the boards to Filppula. Nemestikov rounding out this line. Nesterov with a long-distance drive, and it's handled by Luongo. The pass out to center with 10 seconds to go. Ekblad in the zone. Barkov looked over his shoulder. Wrapped up by Nesterov. Couldn't make a play. Lightning want to keep that puck there. And that's going to do it for a second period where the Lightning were led by their captain, Steven Stamkos, connecting on the power play. And again, 2 goals in that second period, ending a 7-game goalless drought and continuing to torment Panther fans here at the BB&T Center. And he'll be joining Dave Andreychuk, 2 great goal scorers, chatting it up outside the Lightning room. We'll take you around the league with 12 other games this afternoon and tonight on the schedule. Highlights and stats from period number 2 coming your way. Tampa Bay Lightning Hockey and Sun Sports is brought to you by Gulf Coast Honda. Visit your Gulf Coast Honda dealers for great deals on new Hondas. Go to gchondadealers.com. By Kaiser University. Over 90 programs online and on campus. Learn more at kaiseruniversity.edu. By Steak and Shake, famous for steak burgers. And by your Tampa Bay area BMW centers. Welcome back to the BB&T Center. Lightning playing their final road game of the regular season, coming into this game at 17, 16, and 7. Their road record. Steven Stamkos trying to help them leave the road behind on a winning note. As Chief, he certainly got them in position to do that.
He really has, and I'd love to see him back in his old spot on that power play. You know, even though people can expect it, you just can't stop it when they shoot that puck that hard and get it away. And, of course, you see that the 35 games against the Panthers, he's picked up 25 goals.
Let's have a look at our chase review through 2 periods. The shots were 15-9 Panthers in the second.
But everything else is fairly even, as you see there. The scoring chances, Lightning by 1. The power play has been perfect for the Lightning, and as has their penalty kill. The face-offs, the gap is closed a little bit. Florida was a little bit better with that face-off circle, but even the hits are pretty even.
Well, we talked to the players this morning about what to expect from the Panthers. They certainly know after 3 meetings this is a gritty, hard-nosed team and a reflection certainly of their head coach Gerard Gallant. We've talked about that, and the Lightning have matched that physically as Morrow just got spun and dropped. Play continues. Here's Brown playing it behind the Panther net. Around for Morrow. Hayes picks it up. Played away by Cuckoo. Once again, solid on the Lightning back line.
Yes, played very, very well. And I agree with Andy. Nestrov has been outstanding back there as well on the blue line.
And the Lightning continue to operate. Down 4 regular defensemen. Of course, Coburn's been out for a while. Here's Jagr for the Panthers out in front. And Drouin stayed with Barkov. Jagr has the puck back again. He misses the net on the shot. Petrovic with a try. It's fended off by Bishop. Lightning with Hedman still listed day-to-day. Schuster 1 to 2 weeks with an upper body injury. They score! Callahan stuck it under the right arm of Roberto Luongo here in the first 1:03 of the third, and the Lightning have the lead now at 3-0.
Boy, big goal, but nice play. Great pass. Watch this pass by Stamkos right up to Callan on the tape. But watch this move in here. Togreg goes back to the outside. He had that defense moving to the inside, goes back and rifles it and gets it right through the arm. That's the move right there. That's incredible. Petrovic had to go to the move. He doesn't. Callahan goes around him.
Panthers deflected in, cut off by Bishop. And it's deflected by Palat down the ice. Luongo playing it, no icing. For the Lightning, that's certainly a good way to protect the lead. Enhance it. Stamkos the only assist on the goal at 1:03. He and Callahan each a goal and an assist in this hockey game. Centered by Boys as Callahan back with Stamkos. The return of Johnson indicated that, and from the skate this morning, Alex Killorn was in the line rushes with Stamkos and Callahan, but scratched from the game because of an undisclosed injury, and Drouin has stepped in there.
Boy, they're much more effective, though. As good as Namestnikov has played and really has played well, Tyler Johnson just stirs the pot for the Triplets.
Puck shot in here by McKenzie. Gets a jolt from Witkowski. Bishop is out there handling the puck with confidence, Chief.
He really is. Ben's right at the top of this game right now, I think.
McKenzie moving that puck to Campbell. Trying to find a way to angle it to his partner. Ekblad with a try, and that's a save by Bishop. Rebound is fired off a Lightning stick by Upshall and missed the net. Ekblad showing the offensive instincts there. Paquette feeling the effects of blocking that shot. Ekblad has the puck at center. Both teams go for a change. Campbell in the zone, peels back. Barkov, Jagr, Huberdeau on. We should see a lot of them down the stretch of this game with the Panthers down 3-0. Brown with Boyle and Cuckoo. Jagr, the pass in front, defended well by Cuckoo, and it's cleared out.
Fresh ice. Puck's going to slide quicker. That's what causes the icing, right, Andy?
Yeah, for sure.
I'll tell you what, when there has been an opportunity for the Panthers to get a chance, Ben Bishop's been there, but watch, Witkowski's got a cross there. I think might have got a piece of it, Andy.
I think he did, yeah, you're right. Ben was on his way over there, but Witkowski got his stick in there, and that's all you need to do to deflect it over the net.
Jagr fires it through the blue. And it's picked up by Brown. Kulikov stepping up for the hit. Morrow continues on, shouldered off by big Alex Petrovic. Pass ahead for Barkov as Jagr continues to work with Huberdeau and Barkov. Barkov trying to reach that puck. He's got pretty good reach with a play whistle down offside.
See that little play that Drew did right there? That's what they're talking about. Barkov had the puck at the blue line. He's going to chip up by him, and Drew earlier in the year would have probably turned away from him, but he took him out of the play. Watch this little play right up here on the top of your screen. Here he comes in right here. He goes at him. Now see him, he just takes him right out of the play. Doesn't have to take him hard, but he eliminates him. That's a heads-up play by the young man.
Long way to go in this game, guys, with the Lightning in front 3-0, but we're seeing elements of a team that is backing up what they're saying. We want to concentrate on our game, getting our game going in the right direction in a lot of areas. Bishop a stop out in front on Hayes. He deflected that right on goal, and Bishop a big save. Petrovic looking for an angle, couldn't find when Stralman got it free. Kulikov gloves it ahead. It's taken by Stralman. Callahan steps into the zone. Turns back for the boards. Lightning getting Cuckoo on the ice from the bench. Jokinen's pass knocked down. Hayes back for Trocheck. Jokinen in for Hayes. He's got an open man. Goodbranson around the net he goes. Bishop well out of his net. Here's a drive by Mitchell. Bishop back to make the save. He hangs on.
Ooh, scary time there. Lightning really, one of the first times everybody was really caught out of position, even the goaltender.
Yeah, sometimes when that guy's going around the net, you got to start to look at guys behind you. And Ryan Callahan tries to get a block on it, but he's a little late there. You know, you got to think about the guys that are coming from behind and not concentrating on the guy going around the net. But Ben did a great job of getting over there.
Tyler Johnson skitters away with a puck. His pass hit Palat. He deflects it in. Will give chase. Rock to get it ahead. Walks in front. Passing that to Kucherov. Shooting off the goalpost. Boy, Palat takes a big hit and still creates a dangerous play and comes back to get a good hit on Goodbranson at center. Takes the pass. Johnson knifing through. Palat into the zone. Wheels it in front. Kucherov tipping it on goal. Luongo a stop there.
All three of them have great hands, too. That's another thing that makes them so effective.
Barberio trying to hold him up at the blue line. Campbell follows up. The Panthers closing in now with Ekblad, who's been on the attack here in this third. Good play in front, but Boy's try was blocked by Barberio. Chopped away by Paquette and out to center. Boyce back for McKenzie. Got tangled up with Nemestikov. Panthers bodies coming over both benches that players on the ice aren't seeing to get right into the play. And here's Kopecky trying to bank one in off Bishop. He might have caught him on the side of the helmet. And that puck dribbling back will get an icing call.
One of the things that Lightning have got to do, though, is they got to make sure that those little soft passes into the middle of the ice are a very dangerous play when you're at either blue line. Make them crisp. They get them. They got good enough hands to hand on them. If they don't, then they get out of trouble.
Eric McKenzie in for Upshaw. McKenzie steaming in there. Couldn't get to the puck. Filppula trying to work it free. Paquette battling Kopecky, who had a great chance earlier in the game. Campbell winds up with a big drive, and it's steered hit high by Bishop. Callahan's goal has made it 3-0 Lightning here in the third.
Well, Lightning up by 3. You see the time remaining. Let's take a look at tonight's high-def highlight brought to you by H.H. Gregg. And you can see this shot right here going right up at the top of the shelf by Stamkos' second goal. But it's not just the shot. It's how you get yourself in position for a pass. And that pass is as important as well. So what happens before the goal is scored is really important in how the goal is scored. And that's our H.H. Gregg high-def highlight.
Boyle a clean face-off win. Back for Anton Stralman. Plays it ahead behind Morrow. Kulikov pressured. Pass stolen by Boyle, but the Panthers get it back into the hands of Scotty Upshaw. And he is checked there by Nesterov, who took the worst of that collision, but he came across at the right moment. Puck kept behind the net. Stralman with it. Calmly guides it to Morrow. Strawman turns. Kopecky got it loose, but Strawman just said thanks.
You know what? He didn't even come out from under a sheet or a blanket like a magician usually does when he brings out a robin.
Petrovic back to center. Stamkos trying to hold up Jágr with his reach. Sweeping move in toward the net, and he fired it wide. Gets it back to Goodbranson. Callahan controlling it. Barberio chips it safely out. Mitchell pursued. Down he goes. Stamkos has it. Stamkos around the net. Trying to stuff it home, and Luongo got over there in time. Stamkos now bidding for a hat trick. Huberdeau. The center to Barkov. Got tripped up. Stamkos looked back. Play continues. Here's Callahan in the zone. Slipping it to Drouin. Back to Callahan. Stamkos parked in front. Barberio looking that way. Closing in. Shooting. Save Luongo. Stamkos through the legs out in front. Pinballs across. And Drouin trying to jam it home. He was stopped by Luongo, who had dropped his goal stick.
A lot of action around that net. They just couldn't grab the handle on it.
Mark Barberio pressured in here by Brad Boyes. Pass across to Palat. Kucherov deals it back to Palat. Steps in, trying to cut inside on Ekblad, who got a piece of that. Bolin. Played to center, and it's handled by Cuckoo. Well, he just continue to be impressed with all the little things the young man's doing. As he said, we talked about earlier, he says, I don't feel like I'm overthinking. It certainly doesn't look like it. Bolin backhanding it toward the net. It's handled by Bishop.
Boy, they can look at this last play in front of Roberto Luongo. Nice play by Barberio. The puck was just rolling around. He tried to knock it away. There you see the shot by Drouin, and Luongo got a glove on it. Or a pad of it, rather. And
well, he's been known for that over the years. You never count him out of it. He slides across, kicks it, and then he's going to drive. You see that Jonathan Drouin couldn't get a stick on it there, but that's one thing trait of Roberto Luongo. He's never out of the play.
you know you got it going well when you stop the puck with the bottom of the blade of your skate.
Here's a deflected shot in on Bishop. Stayed with it as Jokinen let it go for the point. Luongo 400 career wins. As Paquette playing it in the zone. It's deflected away. Bouncing puck. And the Lightning get to it. It's spun back to Paquette. Now Nesterov called for it. Got it. Deflected down by Filppula coming by the net. And it was with the high stick. The Lightning next to control. And we get the whistle tonight on Fox Sports Live. 12 other NHL games today and tonight. 4 possible clinches on Saturday, including Vancouver and Minnesota over in the West. Jay and Dan will have the highlights from across the league. Plus, we'll have complete post-game coverage of the Final Four from Indy. Change your channel to Fox Sports 1 after Lightning Live post-game tonight. Luongo 1 win away from tying Chris Osgood for 10th all-time at .401. I didn't realize he was in Vancouver for 8 years after 5 years with the Panthers.
Well, he tortured the Lightning his first time he was here in Florida.
We were happy that he got traded out of here. Let's say that.
Puck played out by Kopecky, and Witkowski swung that puck around to Barberio. It ends up with Boyle. He starts it in. Plows into Kulikov. Down they go. Brown chasing down the puck in the corner. Ed Morrow set up in the slot. Disrupted, though, by Upshaw. We reached the midway point of period 3. A 3-0 Lightning lead. Stamkos 2 goals. Callahan 1 goal. And Bishop has been terrific in net for the Lightning with 29 saves. It's played ahead and out for Drouin. Nifty little pass to Stamkos. In for Callahan. Has a little room. Knocked down now from behind by Huberdeau. Cuckoo with his speed got over there to hold it in. His pass, though, taken over by Barkov. Played back, and Cuckoo with the speed getting back. Jágr kept wide by Carl. Mitchell from the point. Penalty upcoming to Slater Cuckoo for his involvement for interference along the boards, and the Lightning will be shorthanded. for the third time in this game when we come back. Cuckoo in the box for interference. Let's take a look at the Lightning's upcoming schedule presented by Steak and Shake.
Well, Lightning head back to Tampa for the first time in 9 days. They'll play host to the Devils on Thursday, then Saturday the Bruins, and that's the final 2 games of the regular season. And of course, the Stanley Cup playoffs start either the 15th or the 16th.
Yeah, that Bruins game might be just a huge game for the Boston Bruins. Last game of the year.
Bruins tied with Toronto 1-1 in the third period at the TD Garden as the Panthers on their third power play chance. Perry had the puck knocked away, gets it back, and the Lightning control. It's cleared out by Paquette. And that duo of Paquette and Boyle creating a couple of good scoring chances shorthanded earlier in the game, and they're so reliable out there.
Well, even Palat and Johnson garnish a lot of shorthanded ice time as well.
Paquette still out there digging for that puck. Barberio couldn't clear. Held in by Campbell for Hayes. Panthers on a Toyota power play opportunity here, and 1:05 to go on it. Brandon Perry, their trigger man in many of these situations. He's certainly become that the second half of the season. 19 goals in 26 games. Here's Campbell marching in with Perry on the other side, loading up for the shot. Forced wide here by Witkowski, who stuck on a leg and tripped him. And the Panthers hanging on to the puck here. Delayed penalty to the Lightning. Bolin. Now with 6 skaters on, Luongo on the bench. Jágr from the circle shooting, and he sends it wide. As the Panthers decide to hang on to the puck, they've got some pressure. Huberdeau with a shot, turned aside by Bishop. And the Lightning will touch the puck with now 24 seconds to go on the Cuckoo penalty. And his defense partner and teammate in Syracuse, Luke Witkowski, will join him in the box at 12:14.
53 Tampa Bay, 2 minutes tripping.
Well, they killed off some of that extra time, but there you see him right there as he lost his footing there. He was kind of humped down by the Panther in front there, just kind of knocked off his stride and stuck out the stick in the leg and is tripping at 12:14.
Panther timeout.
Yeah, 5-on-3 now. They want to rest those guys that were out there. Make sure they make good use of it. This is a very interesting part. You got a 2-man advantage. If you get one quickly, you got another power play opportunity.
Fans of 2015 Stanley Cup playoffs are here. As we just talked about, get the best seats and the best discounts by becoming a season ticket member. Call 813-301-6600 or visit TampaBayLightning.com for more information. Tickets on sale now.
Yeah, interesting. You know, they held on to that puck, started to go, kept going for chances. I don't know. There's a different theory, I guess, whether you should just give them the puck, have more 5-on-3 time, but they still had a couple of really good quality chances that they still got 24 seconds left on that 5-on-3. They got face-off is huge here.
I agree with you, though, Andy. I think I'd give it right up so you get less bodies out there.
Extra effort by Boyle to win that face-off. He paid for it. I think he got bopped in the nose. He stays out there as he is on with Paquette and Strawman. With the Lightning down 2 men at the moment. Kulikov and Ekblad trying to set up the attack here for the Panthers. A pass goes through Huberdeau, who did deflect the puck, but it deflects out of play off a Panthers stick, and the faceoff comes to center with 1 second to go on the Cuckoo penalty.
Boy, big. That's a big 24 seconds that they killed.
Huge. And, you know, again, if Ryan Campbell would have just handed the puck to the Lightning, they might have had almost a minute. Instead, they're down to 1 second now. So good to see the penalty killing still. This is going to be strong in the playoffs, and they need to continue to keep doing what they're doing.
Now Cuckoo now out of the box, 5-on-4 as Jágr starts it in, pressured by Cedric Paquette. Now Barkov's got to peel off. He drops a broken stick. That helps the Lightning case for the moment. Kulikov manned up there with Boyle. Back to Ekblad, wristing one off the goalpost, came in front, Bishop unaware of it now. The whistle blew as the puck came loose. Huberdeau in that goal mouth, Jágr coming in there. As Paquette started to shove Huberdeau, who had bumped into Bishop. He didn't know where that puck was. He was just trying to react in a way that would prevent it from getting by him.
Boy, it grazed the post coming off there. He kind of hooked it with his right skate, but he was able to keep it out. Lightning making sure they kind of had that body go down in front of him. I think it was Cuckoo as he fell down there. He saw that puck.
Yeah, it was Cuckoo, and you know, it's kind of it's scary because you don't want to put your hand on it in the crease. The referee lost sight of it and went to the far side. Cuckoo did a good job.
1:16 to go in the tripping call to Witkowski. The Lightning win that scrum, and it's cleared out by Stralman. Yet another aspect of playoff hockey you got to work on. Winning those scrums on the face-offs.
Boys got in that circle way before the drop of the puck, and they didn't stop it.
Puck knocked down by Barberio. Tap behind the net. Stralman getting it free. Couldn't get it by Boyce. Peary lost the handle on it. Palat will send it out. 47 seconds to go on this fourth Panther power play chance. Peary shoots it in. Petrovic back to Brandon Peary. They've got Boyes in the slot. Campbell. And here's Peary shooting, and he misfires. And it comes out of the zone. Panthers lately have been pretty good on the power play for their last 10 coming in, but the Lightning have quelled the uprising through most of the night, and still 15 seconds left on this chance. Hayes' try to the corner. Trocheck in after it. Back of the point to Campbell with the shot. Knocked down. It just went wide. Picked up by Barberio. Protects the puck. Paquette will get to it. He'll clear it out. Here comes Witkowski. Lightning survive. The two-man disadvantage. Both ends of the penalties. They keep it at 3-0 with 5:37 to go in this third period. Barberio working with Callahan. Trocheck out to the point. Goodbranson missed the net. Jokinen, and their shot is taken wide by Hayes. On the point, here's Mitchell shooting, and it was tipped by Hayes, but handled by Bishop with 5:20 to go in the third. And Stamkos and Callahan have provided the offense.
3-0, the Lightning still lead with that time remaining. Let's take a look at tonight's Diamond Performance presented by Ackerman Jewelers. And you guessed it, Steven Stamkos. 2 goals, give him 42 on the year, plus an assist on this goal by Callahan that gave the Lightning a little more of a cushion coming into this third period.
Well, the captain's out there now, opposing Trocheck, who wins the draw, interrupted by Drew, and they got it in front. Backhitter by Jokinen, stopped by Bishop. 2 great plays by Bishop there, and thwarting Trocheck, and then had to make the save.
Andy, he just coolly caught that one.
Yeah, you know, he seemed like he was out of position, but he just put his glove down. And then, he just slid his way over, put his glove down, and ended up catching it. Good play by the Florida Panther guy trying to get open, but Ben foiled him again.
Lightning win this draw. Callahan peeling back, long pass. Panthers had that one scouted well with Mitchell and Goodbranson back there with Stamkos. Chipped in by Goodbranson. Trocheck shoving Stralman to the boards. Jokinen getting to it. Now Mitchell looks. He's got Stamkos on him. Jokinen overskates it, and Stralman getting it free to Stamkos. He'll hoist it out. Drouin keeping that defense pair honest while the Lightning change up ice. Here's Goodbranson to center. Nesterov checked by Hayes. McKenzie on the scene. Nesterov kicks it along. Kucherov there. Boy, you had Palat just waiting. Lead pass for Johnson. Steams in an Ekblad. Fans on the shot. Palat arrives in that corner along with Kopetsky. Carl pokes it along down the boards. It ends up contacting the netting, and it ends up out of play.
Well, wait a minute now. Why would that come outside the play? The Lightning didn't shoot it out over Light.
I think Carl, when he went to poke it, I think he poked it off of his stick.
Oh, okay. I got it.
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you, this whole third period, the Florida Panthers have had their defense up in the play, and they're trying everything they can, and this young defense, they've done really well.
You talk about baptism by fire. They have carried this team through this 5-game road trip for the most part, with injuries piling up right off the bat in Detroit last week. And the start of the trip, Garrison going out early in the hockey game. An upper body injury suffered on the hit by Justin Abdelkader. And Schuster and Johnson leaving shortly later in the trip, along with Hedman. And Johnson able to come back tonight, but now Killorn's out. And it's chipped in by Boyle. Kulikov takes it. Under 3.5 to go in the third. Petrovic ahead for Jágr. Muscles his way through there. Playing it back of the point. Petrovic across for Kulikov with the wrist shot. It's deflected off a stick off the glass. And it's chipped out by Nemestikov, knocked down, but it's followed up now by Barberio. Panthers have a 33-21 shot advantage.
Keep yourself on the right side of the puck. Don't let it get behind you. That's the key thing for the Lightning now in the final just under 3 minutes.
Your Tampa Bay area BMW centers want to remind you to tune in Thursday night. The Lightning back home for a game against the New Jersey Devils. Coverage begins at 7 p.m. with Lightning Live pregame. That's the Bolts and the Devils Thursday night on Sun Sports. And what happens in between, very important for the future of this team. They get 4 days off. There will be practices involved, but still, with the wounds that this team has suffered to its lineup, those days are a welcome relief. Here he couldn't dump it in against Callahan, who now turns around and strips Boyd. Luongo still in net with 2:22 to go. Strawman checked by Beery, was able to get it away from the Panther forecheck, but it's backhanded in by Goodbranson. Bishop reversing for Callahan. And you get it back to Nesterov. He'll flip it ahead for Jonathan Drouin. He's got time to skate it to the line and take a shot off Campbell's stick. Pressure Campbell. Lightning get fresh legs on as Drouin stopped. Johnson on a rebound. He scores! Tyler Johnson back in the lineup with a goal and an assist on the night. 4-0 Lightning. And the multitude of Lightning supporters on hand enjoying this one.
That was all set up by the hard work of Jonathan Drouin. He got in on Campbell really quickly, kind of out-muscled him in the sense, if you can, just knocking that puck away from him. Watch how it works. Got the puck off the end boards, got it out in front, and then Johnson just fired off on a second shot on a rebound, and the Lightning get that 4-0 lead.
That all started on a one-on-one, guys. So, you know, he takes the defenseman one-on-one, shoots it by him, and doesn't turn away. He goes right after him and causes that play. Tyler Johnson does a good job of finding that puck and making no mistake.
Lightning 135 away from going home on this trip, 2-2-1. But one of the unsung heroes on this trip's got to be Jonathan Drouin. 2 power play goals, ending a long goalless drought. And he has talked about how he feels comfortable in the other areas of the game, and we're seeing it. Boyle steals the outlet, and he'll just dump it right back. Drouin the only assist on Johnson's 27th goal. Tyler now 69 points. Stamkos at 70 points. Leading the team. Nemestikov in the zone. Feeding it now. Felpin around the net. Trying to stuff it out in front. It's just chopped wide by Paquette. Upshaw backhands it out. Witkowski, the first man back. We get an icing call. 46 seconds to go.
Well, I'll tell you what, you take a look at the numbers that the Lightning have. Protecting the lead going into that third period is incredible. They just really seem to rise to the occasion. And Lightning going into the third period when they have the lead 32-0-2. That's a pretty impressive number. I think with 45.6 seconds, we can safely say it's going to be 33.
Lightning now 98 goals scored in the third period. A plus 33 differential in the third. They have been money in the bank protecting leads. Long try by Mitchell, snared by Bishop with 30 seconds to go. Lightning will up their point total to 104 points. They'll tie Montreal. Canadiens have a game in hand for the Atlantic Division lead. And the Canadiens taking on the Panthers here tomorrow. And the Lightning off until Thursday until they host the Devils. Strawman over for the puck. He'll hold it. Turns away for Brandon Peary. And it's chipped out, and that is going to do it. The Lightning extend their team record wins of 48, and for Ben Bishop, an individual record, 38th win this season, breaking the record he set last year, and he celebrates with his 4th shutout of the season, his 12th of his career, a 34-save gem as he holds off the Panthers and gets 2 goals from Stamkos, 1 from Callahan, another from Johnson. The offensive leaders step up 4-0. The Lightning win.